Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I wanted to reflect on the year that was 2021 in Gacha gaming, go through a bunch of the games that we did play on the channel. We're not going to go through every game because there's too many to cover for all the releases, but I wanted to go through them, talk about a bunch of the games, talk about what I'm playing, what I'm not playing, why I'm not playing them and stuff like that, and then give out some awards at the end of the video to things like best one-time playthrough, best endgame, best turn-based, best idle, the biggest letdown, and the most unique game. So I'm going to give out some awards. Obviously, being my opinion, everyone's opinion will be different. And the other thing that I wanted to mention before we get into it is I see people all the time getting mad at me because I stopped playing a game. This is my second channel. I've played AFK Arena on my main channel for about 3 years now. And while I was doing that, I was always playing the new gotchas that interested me on the side. And I thought, why not make a second channel and document that? Now, if we hit an absolute stellar game, that's going to really hold me long term, I will just continue to play it on the channel. But at the moment, I feel like a lot of games that have launched in 2021, the main issue has been that they really do lack endgame and just really something to keep you immersed in the game. So that was basically my takeaway from 2021, but without any more, let's get into the games. Okay, so these are going to be in no particular order. The first one we do have is Punishing Grey Raven. Now, Punishing Grey Raven for me was a fantastic game. I was super hyped about it before it came out. I played bits and pieces of the Taiwanese version, the Japanese version, and all that, and the gameplay was incredibly nice. The action RPG gameplay that it comes with is just something that it's thoroughly enjoyable. The whole color matching, the matching the orbs up to get better effects, the combat was really quite enjoyable, and playing through the game, through the campaign, like one time was absolutely amazing. The thing that basically just drew me further and further away from the game till I eventually stopped playing it was the lack of endgame. It became a daily boss grind where you had to manually do the same boss over and over to burn stamina, and it just lacked variety for me, I guess. It just became too repetitive and not engaging enough for me, and that's why I did end up quitting it. But it's still a fantastic game. I still see people playing it today who are thoroughly enjoying it, so mad props to them. But like I said, for me, just that daily grind, and just being stuck at the end waiting for the update, and even though we knew every update that was coming based on the JP version and stuff like that, it lost a bit of spice for me. So that is Punishing Grey Raven, but a great game nonetheless. Next up, we have Awaken Chaos Era. Now, this game was coming for about I don't even know how long. I think I played this game in 2020 in the first beta. It's a turn-based gotcha, very similar to Summoner's War, Epic 7, Raid Shadow Legends. It did come out in soft launch. It still hasn't had its full release yet. And I did play it because I spoke about it in all my upcoming games videos. I did play it. I did actually record a video for it, like a reroll guide and stuff, because when it launched, like I always have fun rerolling. And then I was like, wait, let's just see this. Let me not reroll. Let me play the game for a day. And I just sort of even though it's nice, it just wasn't the best turn-based game for me. There's another one on this list that I did prefer, so I decided not to keep covering it because these games are a very heavy time investment, and I just had a bunch else going on, and like I said, it just wasn't the #1 game in my opinion, so I decided to drop it. But nonetheless, a great turn-based hero collector. Like I said, a great clone of Summoner's War, Epic 7, all that stuff. The aesthetic is really nice, but I decided to give it a miss. The next game on the list is the reason I decided to give it a miss, and this one is going to be Dislight. Another Summoner's War, Epic 7 clone. This one, I just really like the aesthetic more. This one is still in soft launch as well, so still waiting for a global release. But the amount of updates this game has had since its soft launch is ridiculous. They just keep adding stuff. When it actually did its soft launch, I was like, this game is going to fail because it just doesn't have any necessary features. But they have been steadily implementing new features into the game, which is fantastic. And I don't play this one religiously. I log into it maybe once a week, have a look around, see what's going on, kind of just waiting for the full global release of it. But absolutely loved this game when it launched. The aesthetic is something that I really do like. It's a bit different to the standard visuals that we do get in these games, and it just plays really nice. So this is my pick for turn-based games that I'm waiting for a full global release on, and then we will go probably pretty ham on this one when it does release. Next up, we have Marvel Future Revolution. Now, this one, it did do a soft launch in Canada, and then it came out globally. I played through a bunch of the soft launch. I didn't get to create content because I couldn't get it going. I think I tried to stream the soft launch of it, but it just kept lagging out and crashing. I played through it a fair bit on my phone because I could get good reception on my phone during the soft launch in Canada. But then by the time it launched globally, I don't know, it just felt like the standard auto MMORPG type thing. I think there was a lot of drama. I saw a lot of videos of the steady content creators for it complaining about the game, quitting the game, all that sort of stuff. So I don't know the state it's currently in, but you know, it was hyped because it was Marvel, but then it turned out to be sort of just the same. The PvP was a bit clunky, which was the big deal breaker for me. But nonetheless, if you do like Marvel, you probably get a bit of fun playing it because the storyline in it is actually really good. So like for a playthrough, it's not too bad. Next up, we do have Revived Witch. Now, people are asking me, am I still playing Revived Witch? I did get my Akasha maxed out. Everything, I have done that. I've been logging into the game once every 3 or so days. Keep in mind, I just got back from a holiday where I had 5 days without reception, so I haven't logged into anything in a little bit. I got Akasha. I summoned on the new banner, missed out on the banner hero on my soft pity. And basically this one is another one where I'm going to keep logging into it every once in a while. I'm not going to try and push super hard at it. It's just one of those ones, again, that's lacking endgame content. But I tell you what, the playthrough on this game, I thoroughly enjoyed. The actual grinding in this game, I did enjoy. But I got to the point now where it's like, I need that something. I need like a real-time arena or something like that to really get me like motivated to compete and stuff like that. But yeah, in general, I loved this game. I still love it. I still log in, but it's just a game that I can't make steady content for. There's not the content to make for it, but I absolutely love what they did. I just wish there was a bit more in it. I love the pixel art. I think it's one of the best pixel art games I've played. It just had so much going for it and does have so much going for it, and I'll keep watching. If it gets a good chunk of content to come that I can really sink my teeth into, then I will start making content again. But at this stage, there's just not a hell of a lot that I can really do for content in this one, which is sad because I do love this game. Next up, we have Slime Isekai Memories. Now, this one I tried playing. I didn't give this one much time because there was other games, there was other stuff going on with me. I tried playing this for about 2 or 3 days, kept getting an error where it booted me out, coming back in, starting a fresh account, and I just basically, the game was unplayable. They did fix it. The combat was a bit unique in this one, with the different forms, like getting different skills activated and stuff like that. It was okay. It just felt like it sort of like felt like it was trying to do what Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross did when it came into the market, and it sort of just destroyed everything with it, you know, a different sort of combat, really good aesthetic, good storytelling. And this one felt like a clunkier version of Seven Deadly Sins, if that sort of makes sense to anyone. But if you're a fan of the IP, you'll probably still get some fun now that they have fixed the gameplay of the game. Next one is Figure Fantasy. Now, that's the one I have been playing very recently. I just think this is a really solid idle game. The main thing in this game that I really do like is just the aesthetic. I like the Toy Story type thing. I don't know, something about it is really cool. It's your standard idle game. It's not gonna like break records in new gameplay features and stuff like that, but the aesthetic's really cool. The enemies are really cool. I like games that have different enemies and you're not just fighting your heroes the whole time. I feel like they put a lot of time and effort into it, into the modeling and all that stuff. So just a solid idle game is basic good summary for this one. Now, My Hero Academia, the strongest hero. So when I said that if I got a game that was going to keep me and that was all I was going to play, this was going to be the game. If this game, when it went global, was exactly the same as the was it Taiwanese, the Taiwanese version, or no, what was it? Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's Taiwan. I can't even remember now. Anyway, it's Taiwanese, I'm pretty sure. But if this game was exactly the same as that Taiwanese version, sorry if I got the wrong country, this would have been the game that I just kept playing. I love my hero. I loved the combat. The PvP was the best. I actually still log in to the foreign version of this game like once a month and just stomp people with my Momo because it was that much fun. And I'm just so devastated with the way they handled this global launch. It was just an absolute mess. They got super greedy, which made everyone rage. They made changes to PvP, which just made me not enjoy the PvP, which is all I wanted to do. This game, it didn't have to do much to please me. All it had to do was have fun, just the exact same PvP, and I would have been set. Like, that's it. The PvP on the foreign version was so entertaining to me. They made a bunch of changes to it, which just destroyed it. They changed the cooldown timer for swapping from like 3 seconds to 40 seconds, which meant it just became a face roll contest of spam fest. There was no strategy between swapping, which was what I really loved. They couldn't get their servers right, and that was the main thing that annoyed me. Then for everyone else who cared about the PvE, which I didn't care about at all, because the PvP was balanced. All you needed was the hero and you could compete. It was the best system ever. But then in the PvE, they got super greedy on all of the transactions and stuff like that, which made everyone hate them. And basically, they just destroyed a perfectly good game launch by the way they did it. And like, they had a different EU version to US with different public. It was just an absolute mess, which made me so sad, because this game, honestly, if there was a big enough player base who I could enjoy with, of players to just casual with on the foreign version, I would have just kept playing that. But unfortunately, you know, it released the global, so everyone was playing global, which no one wanted to watch the foreign version because it had different rules, different mechanics, and honestly, this game just frustrates me so much because it could have been so good. Anyway, that is My Hero Academia, the strongest hero. Sad times. Next up, Blue Archive. Now, Blue Archive is still a good game. I'm not playing it anymore. We just had this game came out, and then like 2 days later, Revived Witch came out. And my problem was with Blue Archive that I just fell in love with Revived Witch too much and spent all my time in that. But Blue Archive, definitely a cool combat style. I do really like the combat style. You don't auto in this game because if you're autoing, you're not going to be able to progress very well. So I like it that you are forced into manual gameplay. The music is spot on. The raids are really appealing. The raids are really cool. It just has a lot going for it. The thing that I really don't like the most about it is, out of all the games that they could have copied the baseline system for summoning and stuff, they had to copy Princess Connect. And one man's opinion, other people may disagree with it, I think that Princess Connect probably has the worst base summoning system and all that stuff, where, you know, if you summon a dupe, you get these universal shards, which you can buy, but like if you save up shards to buy a character and then you buy them and then the next day you summon them, it's like you get like 1/10 of the value for that summon. It just really bugs me, the base system, but the actual gameplay mechanics, the sound, the aesthetics, everything behind it was really nice. They have had dramas around censorship, which I know people get really mad about. I just don't give a shit about that sort of stuff, so it didn't really bother me. Plus, I stopped playing the game by that time. But you know, people are gonna get upset, so that is gonna be Blue Archive. Once again, not a bad game to play. It's really fun. Combat's enjoyable, but yeah, that base system, it just basically, for me at that time, Revived Witch just won out. Next up, we have Alchemy Stars. Now, Alchemy Stars was a really good game, and it still is. I actually really do like this game. I've kept track a little bit of what it's been doing with new events and stuff, which I really do like. The combat in this game was just like the best part, where you've got the grid-based system, you want to connect it. It was really unique. It was something that we hadn't really seen before, and I think it was a really good style of combat system. But once again, this was one of those games where I completed the campaign in like 2 days. There was no PvP, even though they did have an actual PvP event after I'd quit. But it was like there was just nothing to do. And the other thing was that this game had so much tied behind the housing system. And I'm not a fan of housing systems. It's just not my thing. You know, I know some people love them. It's just not my thing. There was too much tied behind that, along with the fact that there was no end game. This is kind of like Revived Witch. I loved this game, but it was like there was nothing to do. Like once you completed the campaign in like 3 days, and then you were just sort of grinding for the sake of grinding. Yes, you had the different, I call them faction towers, where you could push, but that was pretty much it. So all you were doing was like spamming stamina to just sort of grind up levels, and it just lacked that end game for me, basically. But still, nonetheless, a really cool game, really cool combat. Really did love this combat when it launched. But once again, it just burnt out really quickly. Next up, we have Mythic Heroes. Now, Mythic Heroes, in my opinion, is the best AFK Arena clone that there is. I jumped into this game because, you know, I played a lot of AFK Arena, obviously, and this, I always like to keep track of what innovations are happening in the AFK Arena clone scene, because there are a lot of them, and I think this game, like I said, did it the absolute best. This game has a lot going for it. I may even start a fresh account on this game and just chill through it for the start of the year if nothing else happens. But this game was really cool. The reason I did stop playing it was that there was just so many other games coming out. I started playing Figure Fantasy as my other idle game. We also had Revive Witch that came out and stuff like that. So it just became too much of a crunch for time to do dailies in all the games. Plus I do have a third channel going, which I'm covering crypto games, which I started playing one of those ones. Just a lot came in at the same time. But this game, a lot of great quality of life features, a lot of great unique features that aren't just straight copied from AFK Arena. So I think this is really, really a solid, a real solid game. I know some people don't like these games that just use, you know, like gods as their heroes, but I feel like the designs on these ones are just really solid, and just all around a really great game. Next up, we have World Flipper. Now, another unique sort of game. This game wasn't as unique because you already knew everything there was, because there was the JP version like a year ago as well. But it was still nice. I didn't actually do any dedicated videos on World Flipper. I was really excited for it before it came out, because I used to love playing pinball games when I was younger. When, you know, when I first got my first computer, there was a lot of pinball games that were all the rage back then, you know, for us boomers. But it was really fun. Like, I loved that pinball style when I was younger, and then it came into this, and I am a big fan of the pixel art, like in Revived Witch. I really do like it. However, this game, once I got through like day 2, the grind, it just felt like every other gacha basically, and it didn't have anything that crazy unique. It just became an auto fest. And, you know, it just didn't stick with me. I think there was something else that I was playing more heavily at the time of this one. It might have been Dislight that came out right around this one, and I just put way more time into Dislight. So that is World Flipper. Really cool, really fun as like a real casual pickup and pinball, but as a long-term grinding game, just didn't quite have it for me. And I think this is the last one on the list. I probably could have included Princess Connect in this because it didn't technically launch till this year, but it was in soft launch last year, so it didn't get on the list. But the last one is going to be Counterside. Now, Counterside, this was a good game. This was a good game. The 2D art was amazing. The in-combat 2D art was amazing. It's got that Epic 7 type style. The animations were really good. The combat flow, I actually really liked the side-scrolling sort of tower defense type gameplay. It was actually just all really good. Now, this game had a couple problems for me. The two main problems that I had with this game was, one, that it still is only out in Southeast Asia. It hasn't actually had a global launch. If this game does do a global launch, I'll probably jump in heavily into it and actually start a spending account and go ham if it gets a global. But I don't think it's going to get a global at this stage. I think that's just it for Counterside, which is really sad because it was so good. The combat was amazing. The PvP in this game, best PvP game of the year, aside from the foreign version of My Hero Academia, The Strongest Hero. The PvP was great. You know, it had the two different types of PvP. which you could go into. There was the auto, and then there was the real-time PvP. There was a lot of strategy and everything. But like I said, the first thing that sort of got me wrong with this game was the fact that it was Southeast Asia only and still doesn't have a global version. So the updates were annoying. Everything just gets a bit more frustrating when it's like that. The second thing that really just irked me about it was hero space and bag space. I felt like every day, once I was like 3, maybe 4 weeks into the game, all you do is grind gear, and when you're grinding gear and stuff, you're also grinding heroes, and your bag would just fill so quick. I can't even count how many refills, like expansions on my bag space and my hero space, and I just felt like I was spending like an hour a day just sorting out my gear and hero space, and it just drove me crazy. But and I know that may be a little thing to some people, but when it's every day and it's just that tedious, like if I could have literally just kept spamming endlessly and not had to worry about that stuff, I probably would have kept playing the game, but it just became too much, along with the fact that it is Southeast Asia only. But this game was amazing. I think they did a great job with it, and I hope it eventually does get a global release. I don't know if the global release would sort of flop now that it's been available in SEA for so long, but yeah, great game. You can play it in English. You've got to go through QApp or TapTap or anything like that to get it, but nonetheless, really, really fun. And that was the last game that I did have on the list. So time to give out my awards for the year of 2021. The one-time playthrough award. So the best game to play through one time and just enjoy the experience. I've actually got 2 on this. I think the winner has to go to Punishing Grey Raven. The combat was so fun. The progression was so nice. The story was good. Like everything about this was just really fun for your first playthrough. You get to stages that were really hard, but if you played it well and got good at controls, you could beat through it. It was just an amazing game to play through the first time. And the runner-up for this one is going to be, if I can find it in my tabs, is Revived Witch. Like I said, the story in this, I loved the exploration mode. It just became like after a couple days when you completed the exploration mode, you didn't get to go into that anymore. And now I know some people hated that mode and they were glad. I actually really enjoyed the exploration mode. It was a bit of fun. So I was really hoping we'd get more of it. It didn't come back as much. Also, I really do like this skin for Caledonia. I did pick up that skin as well because it looked super nice. But yeah, this game, play through one time, really, really fun. Like a traditional RPG. You got all the mazes, the puzzles. They weren't too in-depth, but it was fun nonetheless. So that one does get the runner-up for the one-time playthrough award. Next up is Best Endgame, and I think you could have pretty much covered it from Counterside. The endgame in this with the PvP, I feel like PvP is just the safest form of endgame for any game because it makes itself like you're just competing, so you want to grind the game and upgrade your gear and upgrade your heroes so that you can compete against other people and go forward. I feel like a lot of games this year just had really lackluster PvP that didn't entice this. The real-time PvP in this was exactly that feature that it needed, and it was fantastic. So this definitely gets my award for Best Endgame. Now the Best Turn-Based, you could probably get it from me before. This was basically between Awakened Chaos Era and Dislight. There was a bunch of other smaller games that did launch through the year. Now, obviously, Awakened Chaos Era and Dislight both still in soft launch, so not till official launch until later in the year. But Dislight, it just had the better aesthetic. Because it launched a bit earlier too, it had a lot of time to do updates before the Awakened Chaos Era went through their like 8 closed betas that they had and went to soft launch. And yeah, Dislight for me, it just feels like a cleaner experience and I just enjoyed it more. So I will probably play this game a lot more heavily when it does get released because it's just a really nice turn-based game. I played Summoner's War for about 5 years before I made content. And you know, I have a real soft spot for these type of games. So Dislight, really looking forward to that one, but that gets my award for the best turn-based. Next up is the idle games. Now we did only have 2 on the list, but for me, I think the number 1 place is going to go to Mythic Heroes. Like I said, it's just got a lot of unique features that are really nice into it, even though it is essentially just an AFK arena clone. I think it's presented really well. They give a lot of a lot of summons for early game players. Like clearing early chapters was giving you a 10 pool, which, you know, other games don't do. They had a lot of cool, unique features in it. Their leveling system was really nice. Just everything about it was just a really, really solid idle game. And the runner-up to this one is going to be Figure Fantasy. Figure Fantasy, basically because the aesthetic is amazing, but it didn't have as many unique features as Mythic Heroes did, so it does get the runner-up in the idle game category. Next up is the biggest letdown, and I'm pretty sure you guys can understand why I chose this as my biggest letdown. My Hero Academia, the strongest hero. Like I said, I was so hyped for this game. The foreign version was absolutely godly, and then they absolutely destroyed it, killed their community, were just horrible management. Oh, just everything about it was disgusting. Really sad about it. Makes me sad because, like I said, the gameplay was so fun, but MHA TSH, you get the biggest letdown of the year. And then finally, for unique games, the winner for the best, the most unique game is going to have to go to Alchemy Stars. Like I said, this combat system really came from left field. Alchemy Stars was an interesting one because it didn't have any real hype around it until like a week before its launch. And then it just sort of launched. Like it did have a closed beta, which got a little bit of traction, but then it sort of all happened. And then it was just really, really fun. This combat is like really addictive and really unique, so that's why it does get the winner for that. And if I had to give a runner-up, it would go to World Flipper, but like I said, the World Flipper grind just became, you know, AutoFest, not too fun, whereas the Alchemy Stars, you know, I just really did like this combat system. But that pretty much wraps up the year that was 2021 in Gacha. What am I playing at the moment? At the moment, I'm still playing AFK Arena on my main channel. I'm playing some crypto Gacha type games on my third channel, and on this channel, like I said, I'm still logging into Revived Witch, still logging into Figure Fantasy, but I may start playing Mythic Heroes again, or I may just go harder in Dislight. So those are the 4 that I'm really looking at the moment. I'm thinking I got to see when Dislight is actually launching. I really hope it's not too late in the year, but that's the game that I'm probably holds the most promise continuing on for me from last year. As for other games, I think I'm just about set with my my Billy account, so that I can start playing only the mobile version, but it's better than nothing, of Tower of Fantasy in the Chinese version, which has a lot of bugs and stuff like that, but that is a game that I was really looking forward to, so hopefully start playing that a little bit as well. But if there are any other games that you guys are looking at coming out this year, I don't see too much in the near future this year. I think in the stretched out version, we do have that the Honkai Star Rail coming out, which is a MiHoYo game, but it's like a turn-based game, which, like I said, you know, I like the turn-based, but I don't know, that could be like past 2022 when it does release. We do have a few more. We have like the Demon Slayer. I'm pretty sure that should be coming out. I haven't checked up on that one anytime recently. We got a Full Metal Alchemist game coming out. So there's a bunch of those ones, but nothing that seems super close. But let me know any picks that you guys have. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.